The conversation that is now going to take place is going to be our green room list of horrible, shitty superhero movies or TV shows, etc. that have taken place and have completely fucked up.
There's not a lot of TV shows about superheroes, though.
No.
I have.
There's not a lot because they sucked.
I have one.
All right, so let's completely start with the one that's obviously we were just discussing before we started to record.
No, there's a universally agreed one before that. It's Ghost Rider.
Yes. All Ghost Rider movies need to burn in hell.
Ghost Rider. Wait a minute, guys. Ghost Rider 1 took a step in the right direction, but then they came out with the next one, and he turned around. He jumped on his bike and turned the fuck around.
No,
that's what happened.
I think Ghost Rider was good for the first 15 minutes when Ghost Rider hadn't happened yet, and then when Ghost Rider happened, then it kind of.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage did a fantastic job in the first.
Can we talk about the fact that
drugs until?
Okay, The Flash is coming out soon.
I don't like that.
Grant Gustin.
I don't like that.
I want to be excited about it, but I don't know. After seeing the clip of it, I just don't know if it'll do it justice.
I don't have my phone, so I can't like.
Grant Gustin is so gay.
Why is the Flash getting his own movie before Wonder Woman?
He's getting his own TV show, not a movie.
I thought he was.
Wonder Woman is getting a movie after.
It's still in production, writing series.
Yeah.
They have Wonder Woman cast.
Well, no, because I remember.
Yes, it's on my phone.
The woman who's played. Check IMDb.
I remember hearing.
It's the girl from Fast and Furious 6.
Oh God!
It's the one. I don't know.
And people are upset about her costume in the movie. I actually am so happy.
It's Injustice. Wonder Woman.
It's the girl.
Injustice.
Yeah,
It's the girl who got her ass slapped by the guy in the 6th movie or whatever.
You know what it reminds me of? An authentic Amazonian costume, warrior, princess.
That's what she is, though.
Do you guys remember? Okay, if they do make a movie, please let them have bionic, superhuman, or super smart kangaroos like they do in the comics. Wonder Woman had her own kangaroo that she rode around. All of them rode around in kangaroos. That was my favorite thing about the comics. I always wanted a fucking kangaroo.
She also had an invisible plane.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
That I didn't want. You know what they could do? What they could do in the movie was
Family Guy.
Family Guy. Also,
everybody else Family Guy.
So I didn't notice that you didn't wash your hands in the invisible sink.
To clarify, her name is Gail Gadot.
Gail Gadot, yes, yeah. Okay, no. What they could do in the movie would be like, my favorite thing about this movie was the invisible plane. It was everywhere. It was everywhere, guys. No, but Wonder Woman. I don't feel like the Flash should be getting his own show before Wonder Woman.
You have to understand. The thing about the Flash is that there was not a lot of. There are enough villains to make a good amount
Captain Cold?
There are enough villains to make a good, interesting movie. The only problem is that the Flash's powers don't supersede to... Not supersede is a bad word for it. They don't go to where Batman's level is, to where Wonder Woman's level is, to Cyborg, and to the Green Lantern, and to Superman. Because those villains are their world... They can be anywhere in the world, and so can the Flash. But his power is so not detrimental to the survival of a town or a city or the world, because he can take out villains like Time Lord or Captain Cold, which are not. And those are just really
lame.
Captain Cold's really like a Downs version of Mr. Freeze.
Okay, can we talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze?
We're
talking about shitty movies.
Because Batman and Robin, George Clooney apologized for that movie.
No. George Clooney didn't apologize.
He did. He apologized for that movie. He kept
at least it's Silverstone.
So did
You had something to say.
Yes,
mad.
The reason the Flash doesn't match to Batman and all of the other... Flash has a max. His speed doesn't have a max, but his ability to be a hero has a limit, because he wasn't raised in this god awful situation. He doesn't have anything in his gut that's making him want to fight for the good of the people. He's there because he's super fast, and the Justice League caught on, and they're like, hey, why don't you come on over, will work with you, and they made him.
We'll give you a treadmill.
They made him a superhero, is what they did. And so what he is he's essentially the reason that firehouses had dogs were to go out in the Dalmatians were to run out in the street and stop traffic so the fire truck could go through. That's what the Flash is. The Flash is the first responder. That's his job. His job is to get there and to maintain the situation and wait for the Justice League to catch up. So, in that sense, that's why he's getting a TV show.
Gets there first.
That's fucking awful.
He gets there like 2 days before.
That's why he Dalmatians of the
Justice League.
That's why he gets a TV show before the Wonder Woman gets a critically acclaimed movie.
Because he's gonna go out and see like Wonder Woman.
Because they have to establish, as a company, Marvel has to establish to the younger viewers, to the newer viewers.
Are you talking about Marvel or DC?
I'm talking about Marvel in a sense. Like, they have to establish...
Are you talking about Marvel or DC? Cause
DC, the Flash is DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
DC.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. We're not judging you, but we are.
It happens.
Just like.
They have to establish who he is as a hero to the younger and the newer fans.
Well, yeah, because you have to kind of, what is their age range?
Well, no, like, not in the sense, like, I'm 18 years old, but I'm still,
let me say,
I'm a little negligent on the lore of the old school comics. All I really know are some of the old ones, like the ones that I had in my garage, and then the movies that have come out. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to appeal to the ignorant audience, like myself, to establish the basis. That's what they did with every single superhero movie so far. Is in the very first movie, the very first sequel, they establish who they are, and that's why they have to have a TV series for Flash before they have a movie for Wonder Woman, because they can't give Flash a movie. They can't give him a movie because he has no origin. He's just this super cocky, fast guy who got introduced to the Justice League by a bunch of superheroes.
Like, hey guys, so this is our new dog.
The point I was trying to make, I didn't know they decided to change Flash to a TV series, because the Flash was going to get a movie before Wonder Woman was going to, and that's why I was like, why is Flash going to get his own movie when Wonder Woman hasn't had anything ever except that one animated movie that they released like 7 years ago.
They wanted to do a Wonder Woman show instead.
They did. That was actually that was in talks, and that was actually produced. But there
was like certain clips of it that were actually very good.
The reason that it's hard to get Wonder Woman going is because she's a woman. She has.
That's the argument.
She has to be Amazonian looking, and that's a hard subject to put on TV, especially right now.
The Wonder Woman lore is like extremely
it's dark. It's dark because Wonder Woman's lore is very dark.
She's got like
in the early 2000s.
They're like on the island of Lesbos or something.
You can't go there.
No, they're on the island of
So that's why.
It's been controversial since it was originally.
That's why.
The Wonder Woman's mom is
she's
a demigod.
She's
a demigod. She's on a Greek island, and Lesbos is in it.
Just like Beavis and Butthead is a good example. Is when that show came out, it was way too. Raunchy is a word. Raunchy for its time. Like it was bad. But then they gave it 20 years, and it came out with The Simpsons, and The Simpsons is was just as bad as Beavis and Butthead, but it took off and it's been running for 25 years now. That's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for the right time to put out that sex figure, if you will, of Wonder Woman in a movie.
Okay.
That's why they haven't made it.
To go on with what he said real quick, because it is DC and they have a lot of, I guess, and no pun intended, catching up to Marvel, who's already put out the Avengers and all these string of like single
they're barely getting it out.
Their goal is Justice League. So in a sense, if I were DC and I wanted to make sure it was just as perfectly executed as Marvel did theirs, I would do that formula and have that Flash have a TV show
what
films.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no. What? Oh, shit. I may not have heard it. You may have. I don't know.
Say it again so I can be better.
Yeah, say it again so I can be better. No, what I was just thinking is, like, I guess I'm kind of confused as to why they haven't done Wonder Woman. Because if you think of that, because like
she's like one of the three.
She's a titular character.
But isn't her personality kind of like
the same as Xena?
It's Xena.
Yeah, she's just business, like business.
She's
not like
was it what's her name? Lovegood or not Lovegood? Lawless. She was they thought of her for Wonder Woman for a while.
Because I mean, I'm thinking of like Xena, like they've had stuff like that. But I guess I feel like the best way to introduce her would be like if like in a she meets someone and she tags along and then she starts her own thing.
That's what but that never happens. They're following Injustice and they're following the New 52. In the New 52, In the New 52, what happens is that.
Okay, I'll be right back. I want to add something to that when I come back to the Wonder Woman thing.
We will come back to it.
I'll write it down.
I'll be right back.
In the New 52, what happens is all the superheroes meet one villain. It's not Lex Luthor, which they're not going by. Who they're going by is Darkseid in the New 52. All of the superheroes meet one villain. It's Darkseid, who comes in, who almost defeats all the Justice League until they're like, oh, all of us are together, we can take this fucker down. But that's really it.
But I mean, like, because I can see where some people wouldn't find the appeal of her, but at the same time, I feel like she leaves room for, like, a comedic effect with her serious attitude. You know what I mean? Like, where they could have her in a group and then, like, she just, like, fucking kick something down and says something.
But onto the subject of how you say that she's a controversial character, there are far more controversial women that are...
Can you hold that up for a second? Because I just want to, like, add one more point to hers, and that's actually...
Go ahead.
I don't think if you know... I don't know if, you know, it's still in production. It might change, but as far as I'm concerned, the point that you made, too, she should, you know, be part of a group. If memory serves me correctly, I thought she was going to make a cameo in the Superman Batman movie.
They're all
going to be. They're all going to.
It's going to be Batman, Superman.
They changed it to Dawn. It's still called Batman. Are you fucking kidding me?
Batman vs Superman.
Are you fucking? It's called. Are you fucking kidding? Get rid of that part and just go with Dawn.
Easy.
My pennies are in a stack and you unstacked my pennies.
That sounds like a kinky thing. You unstacked my pennies.
It would be a bad call, in my opinion, for DC to introduce everyone in one movie.
I hated that idea. I hated that idea. They're trying so hard to catch up that they're just like, we're just going to throw them all into a movie and see it works.
That's a bad idea because that brings me back
to... It's going to be Amazing Spider-Man 2.
That brings me back to the Flash argument. I'm sorry?
Oh, no. Are they going to make the characters in that movie meet, or are they just going to have, like, Superman and Wonder Woman show up together and, like, oh, we already know each other?
No, they're going to meet.
They're all meet.
God, I hate when they make multiple people meet. Like,
see, exactly. So what it does, is that takes the origin stories away from each and every single character in the movie.
The only
But there's characters that don't... There's characters that don't...
actually, Drogo...
Yeah, Khal Drogo is going to be playing Aquaman.
I gotta look that up. I don't know what I feel about
Because there's a lot of things that don't really play into it. Aquaman does have his own origin that's really important. But Arthur, I can't remember his last name, Arthur something, but he has villains in Atlantis. Black Manta, Ocean Master, of course the Injustice League and the Secret Society of Villains. They're all a very big part to all of that. The Legion of Doom, which is also a very big issue because the Vandal Savage and of course Secret Society of Villains is all Gorilla Grodd, whereas the Injustice League is several other villains from just random places that all meet together. The Suicide Squad, but there's characters that in that movie that don't really have need a series of set origins.
And those characters can meet in like they did with the Avengers. Hawkeye and whoever Scarlett Johansson was, I don't know.
Black Widow.
Is that really who she was?
Yes, because Black Widow's an actual person.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't catch that. But that's fine. They didn't get their own backstory. They're important in the Avengers, but they don't need their own
because
movie.
They really are side characters in those stories.
Mm-hmm, which is what I'm saying for those in the Justice
League. They're not side.
As a company, DC needs to set the grounds for their main characters first in their own movies. I'm not saying they have to develop sequels, but they need to establish movies and origin stories for the main characters, for the four main people or however many there are.
Technically the founders of the Justice League is 5.
But they've technically only done that for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously. Like, the Nolan films don't count anymore. The Nolan films are out the window. They've only set a story for Superman.
Exactly. So they've got to establish the rest. Like, there are obviously members of the Justice League that don't need their own. Like, personally, the Green Arrow doesn't need his
I don't
own
want him to have his own
origin story because he's got the show Arrow. They can make that work.
I still thought.
I'm iffy on that show. I'll give you that.
Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to be like it's.
That is okay. Hold on. But that in my opinion,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is shit. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the shittiest thing they've done with the name so far.
Comic book wise, like according to the lore, but as its own like thing.
No. You've got the emphasis that I will place on this. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is worthless as shit. It adds nothing. It's a way for Josh Whedon to make more money, which is okay. You're in the industry. You're going to want to make more money. But don't destroy. You could put...
I understand what you're saying. It adds like this extra mystery to what S.H.I.E.L.D. is in like the comics. I understand that. But it's just a way for them to reach a different audience. As a company, as an industry, it's a way for them to reach a different audience.
There's been other TV shows that can be able to do that have done that. Heroes did that. Heroes is exactly what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing. They're literally finding people that have superpowers and trying to put them away or recruit them. And hey, you can come and join us whenever this is done. Or if there's a side thing where our main superheroes are taking on this bigger guy, we have these little guys that you're gonna be able to take care of.
So what we can agree on is that it's not an original series, and they shouldn't have taken. They should not be using Marvel's name to do so.
It shouldn't be important. It shouldn't be important.
The effort that they have placed in this TV show could have gone
to actual fucking movies.
To an actual fucking movie. To Heroes Reborn, which is going to be coming in around next year or so.
Okay. But
that would have been better if they had done that. But other characters in DC, going back to DC, other characters in the
I still want to shit talk.
We'll talk.
I know. We'll shit talk on another.
We have a whole bunch of like things to go down on this docket.
Do you want to write this down?
He's been writing it down. He's been the parliamentarian. But our problem with all of this fuckery of the Dawn of Justice, Aquaman is an important character that needs his backstory. The Green Lantern does not, because there are several Green Lanterns.
They can use a different one.
They all face one.
They're using John Stewart.
Yeah, they all face usually the same villains. The Sinestro Corps, the Red Lantern Corps, the fucking the Pink Lantern Corps. They also face against
Scarlet Sapphires.
They face against Star Sapphires. I don't remember her fucking name. I don't give a shit mostly about the Corps. They could face against Parallax. They face against other things in the universe. The Corps has its own thing that it does out in the galaxy. It does not need to have a backstory.
Exactly, that's a backstory that doesn't need to be explained.
You can explain that in one sentence in a scene.
Because that's what they did in the Green Lantern movie. They didn't explain the backstory; they dropped you into it.
Which is where we're going to lead to in a couple of minutes after the Dawn Justice.
Hold on, I want to say this. I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet, but I do know that they've been able to establish the Nova Corps better than the Green Lantern established the Green Lantern Corps in some fucking movie.
That's one thing I'll give it. That went real well. That was like, I don't know, but there's just the other thing I just didn't like. There's just everything happening.
John C. Reilly is like a head captain in the Nova Corps, so I'm fine with that.
As movies in general, they do a bad job at explaining what we as fans already know.
That's I will.
Captain America 2 did that with the fucking Winter Soldier. I hated that shit. I was so mad. I know who it fucking is. Don't keep teasing me like that.
They're trying. I was listening to a Russell Crowe interview about the Superman movie, and he said that the Marvel people, the industry, are trying to appeal to us as the major fans more so than those who are not. Yeah. So that's why that they're missing things that are making us upset because we know about them and we want them in the movies, but they're leaving them out because we know about them. So we're like caught in paradox.
I guess like a business standpoint, like they're trying to make the people that are going to go watch these movies happy, but they also want the diehard fans to be happy too, and it kind of makes those problems.
That actually explains why Ronan is the main antagonist.
Yeah, the other to the issue again, like as focusing back on Dawn of Justice, Cyborg is another character that doesn't need one because he's part of the Justice League, but he's also he's an adjunct member to the Teen Titans, who in fact are a good group of heroes. Like it's basically what the TV show Young Justice did, which is a great TV show. You've seen it with me. You've seen it with me. It's really just a good TV show. If you have not seen Young Justice, go and download it. Fucking watch it. Yes, Sinead.
I feel like for like things, characters like Teen Titans or something, they could already have like.
Well,
the major characters, and then if Cyborg came in, they're like, blah, blah, blah. You know how they, like, briefly, like, a character happens to go off to the side and talk to them? And, in movies, when they'll be like, oh, yeah, I was blah, 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 and this is how I got my thing. And you quickly go over it. They kind of talk about it, and then it's like, oh, and then something happens.
The thing about Dawn of Justice, though, is that Batman's already been Batman for, I think it's about a year. They're saying, like, he's been Batman for about a year. And if Cyborg's gonna be a thing, and maybe if they end up doing Teen Titan, Robin already has to be. He's not. I mean, Robin. Is Robin gonna be in Dawn?
Robin is a member for the canon thing. Let's get this.
No, but is he gonna be in Dawn of Justice?
I don't think so. But Robin is a member of the Teen Titans.
Jesse Eisenberg's gonna be.
He's gonna what?
Jesse Eisenberg's gonna be Lex Luthor.
Oh, I thought you were gonna tell me he's gonna be Robin. I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
He's gonna be Lex Luthor. That's the shittiest thing.
That is.
He shit his pants.
We see the movie
he
because
shit his
of what
pants
happened
when
with
we found out that Jesse Eisenberg was gonna be.
Oh, never mind.
I was at work.
No, we
were at work. I looked up who was going to be in the movie, and then I saw
Jesse Eisenberg.
I threw my phone down on the candy bar, and I was so upset.
Jesse Eisenberg. Think of Lex Luthor is not built.
Dwayne, The Rock was going to be They were talking to The Rock about being Lex Luthor. They really were.
I would rather go better.
I would rather The Rock. I would rather The Rock.
Fucking Jesse Eisenberg's he's Charles. Jesse Eisenberg is Charles.
Wait.
Wow. Them's fighting words, dude. Off the record.
Body size. Body size.
He meant your body size. Wait.
Body
I gotta say something. The kid from Kick-Ass? He bulked up in fucking Godzilla.
Oh, that
so they did that with Jesse Eisenberg. I feel like they should have just gotten the guy from fucking. But I don't know if Jesse Eisenberg is gonna do that.
Coming back.
Woke up?
Yeah.
There's a raping today.
The thing I told just now is I really
That's
can't
on the record,
say.
by the way.
Good. They let them know there was a raping today.
When I first saw the trailer for The Dark Knight, and I'm a huge Joker fan, which is like ironic because I was like, no, Bane, right?
Well, everyone likes the Joker.
I saw the Joker the way Ledger portrayed it in the trailer. I'm like, what have they done to the Joker?
I
was so upset. And then he blew my mind. So after that, I vowed, never.
No, it is DC.
I'm talking about Jesse Eisenberg playing.
Hold on.
I want to say.
Hold on. Let's get.
We gotta stay with
Justice League. I think. We've already gone over most of the characters. We've already established what they should do. They should give more backstory to the characters who have not been explained. Yeah, and that's what should happen.
That's literally everyone except Superman.
Yeah, and which is really sad. Because if they actually agreed and negotiated to have Nolan's universe brought into this, then it would have been interesting just to replace the character recasting. That could have been explained.
That wouldn't have been a problem.
No one really would have given a shit if Christian Bale wasn't in there.
I wouldn't have.
Because, it's okay to recast an actor for the...
But I told you, they just want Ben Affleck to direct
I know, because he is a good visionary for the movies.
I don't want Zack...
Also, I think Nolan's
I don't want Zack Snyder anywhere
Ben Affleck as Batman. I feel if he does a good job, then fuck yeah.
Ben Affleck's not a bad actor. He just did a bad job with Daredevil. That was a bad acting. That was bad directing. That was just bad.
Let's go.
Oh my god. Can we just talk about fucking Bullseye really fast?
Hold on. We're in DC.
You make me mad.
We're in DC. Let's go directly to the Green Lantern movie. Let's all have just a complete.
I still don't really think we need to fucking talk about this.
No, I want to talk about it because
I want a room to completely expel their most disgusted noise of this movie. Just
Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Personally, for me, Ryan fucking Reynolds as the Green Lantern. No, hold on.
To my friend across the table, I will completely agree. I did not expect the fact for Deadpool, because that's his personality that he played in the fucking Green Lantern. I watched the movie. I bit my tongue. I sat in my own shit. And I watched that fucking filth on the goddamn TV, and I just sat there. I let them shit all over my eyes. No, I watched Deadpool ruin this movie, which should have been good. It should have been great.
Wait,
bring it down.
No, I have a question for you. What are you talking about? Are you talking about Ryan Reynolds ruining Green Lantern?
He ruined Hal Jones was. Hal Jones fucking I can't even speak now. Hal Jordan was not a cocky ladies' man.
He wasn't Maverick from Top Gun.
He wasn't Maverick from Top Gun. He was not Archer. He was not Deadpool. He did not have.
From that, Ryan Reynolds didn't do that. The writing did that.
Yeah,
I understand.
You write around the people that you really distinctively cast. The
Yes,
entire world.
but at the same time, I'm just saying,
Well, that was when Ryan Reynolds.
They wrote that, and the reason they picked him was because they thought, well, we wrote this, and Ryan Reynolds probably, you know what I mean?
No.
Ryan,
and also, that was not the only
write the
shitty
plot.
thing.
That's not the.
We're gonna get
you
to the
write
other
the plot
stuff soon.
When you make a movie, you write a plot. You go to the director as the writer, and you're like, all right, this is what we got. And they're like, cool. Let's try and think of people that would fit this. And I know this because I've watched a crap ton of commentaries on all kinds of good movies.
We have too. I have seen that too.
And when
they do that with a lot of good shows and movies.
They did that with The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is what I'm basing this off of mostly. And so when a writer comes to the director and they're like, okay, this is what we've got mostly. Here's some dialogue that could happen. This is where I want to go with it. And the director's like, okay, well, who are you thinking? Who are you thinking of playing who? And then they sit down and they discuss. And most of the time, if they're well-paid directors and writers, they discuss A-listing actors. Ryan Reynolds
was the get at that point.
Yeah, he was moving into the A line. I don't remember what movie had just come out with him.
Was it Wolverine?
It was Wolverine Origins. It was just at that time when he was starting with that. We will get to that eventually.
And he made friends with A-listers. He got pulled up into the circle, so they were like, okay, big break.
And he did a good job with everything else. I don't like X-Men Wolverine Origins.
We'll get to that.
I know that I'm not getting onto that. I'm saying that I just